I'm Lee Spencer with the RacinBoys, and I caught up with Gene Haas, Haas F1, and Stewart-Haas Racing. How would you assess the season so far for your Formula One teams, and have you signed up your two drivers for next year?
Oh, my God, that's loud. We've done absolutely horrible, and, we kind of know what the issues are, and we've known about them for a while, and unfortunately, we just haven't been able to improve on it. What really made it difficult is that the tires we were running last year were a lot more forgiving. They are so much more sensitive now to tire temperatures that it kind of highlights that we have a really, really good engine and chassis package, but if your aero's a little bit off, especially in turns, you pay a real heavy penalty, and that's what happened to us. So our season's been horrible, and it's so sad because that was it's a really good, fundamentally good chassis.
Do you sometimes have to cover your eyes, like when one driver of yours takes another driver out and you just ask yourself, why did I even get into this?
Well, it happens. I think if you look at it historically, almost all the teams have these bad incidents like that, and you just don't want to have it happen too often. I don't think they do it intentionally, but a lot of times these Formula One cars, they bouncing off each other and they just go along their merry way, and then every once in a while, if they're off a few inches, it seems like the tires rub just the right way and it pops.
So you're okay with your driver lineup for 2020?
Well, yeah, actually I am, because right now our problem is not so much the drivers as fundamentally as our car is just slow, and that really comes down to our aero, and our aero is just horrible. And like I say, it's really the tires. Last year the tires were so much more forgiving than they are this year that it's just made us look like fools.
You had three cars get into the playoffs. Kevin Harvick is on to Homestead. What do you think his chances are to get a second championship, Gene?
I think it's 50-50. I mean, Harvick's smart. He knows how to drive the car. If he doesn't have any kind of pit road incidents or track incidents, I think we have better than a 50-50 chance of winning, because I think he's really the smartest driver out there.
And Cole Custer, he's also going to the championship again. He was very stout at the beginning of last year's season finale. I'm sure he's worked extensively to make sure that he's just as good in the second half of that race. How do you sum up his chances?
He needs to win. There is no chances. He has to win. So, if he wants to come to Cup, he has to win.
And if he wins, will you put him in that number 41 car?
Well, we'll have to see how it all plays out. Like we have what we consider to be three cars that haven't won a race this year in NASCAR. So if he doesn't get in next year, it'll be the year after.
Are you any closer with Daniel Suarez, or is it all going to come down to money at this point?
Money is important. If you don't win races, you got to have good sponsorship, and they're working on it, and I think it looks optimistic. But until we see the check in the mail or a check on our desk, we're not going to be saying much of anything.
Are you happy with your crew chief lineup as far as your 4 Cup teams for next year?
Well, I think the number 4 team is obviously performing. The other ones, we have to really kind of look at it from a performance standpoint that, they're all really good guys. They all get along great. But and this is racing, and we got to perform. So you never know. There might be some change-ups and just trying to rearrange, team members to see if we can't get more performance out of them.
And Chase Briscoe, heartbreaker yesterday, but it's still the kid's first full season in Xfinity. Would you like to give him a second year in the Xfinity Series next year? Is there room for him at Stewart-Haas Racing?
Well, we'd like to have 3 cars in Xfinity, but it comes down to money. We need to get money, and sponsors are very, very stingy these days. I don't say stingy, but they're hard to come by. So, I think the Xfinity side will expand or contract depending on how much money we have available.
What did you think about the big news earlier this week about Roger Penske taking over ownership of the Brickyard?
Well, Roger Penske, is a big name, and I think, Indianapolis 500 is even bigger. So you put the two together, and it seems like it's a heck of a package. And I think Roger Penske will keep Indianapolis Motor Speedway alive rather than turn it into a housing project. So I think that's all good.
Thank you for your time, Gene.
You're welcome.